What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, okay? It is the 31st day of August, and here we are at about $0.0038 with 6 hours and 13 minutes left in the day. We did hit a new low yesterday. Looking at this here from a low to a high, we're not going to take the fake out high, but this high. I would assume that we continue this drop until we see at least, at a minimum, a price of 0.0037. If we don't see that, or if we don't stop there, I should say, then 0.0033 to 0.003 itself is a possibility. I should say 0.0309. It's a little bit above 0.003, but semantics, potatoes, whatever. Looking at this here, we're talking about a drop that is anywhere from another 4 to about 5% to at the most a 20% drop. So a 5 to 20% drop is underway. We look at the daily RSI, and I would assume typically whenever you're in this kind of situation where you have lower lows and lower highs, typically that doesn't stop until you're in the oversold zone. So some kind of reaction like that. It looks like we like to bounce right off of that oversold area just below it. It also looks like we like to stop just above it. So really any moment now could be the low, but I don't think that it's here. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and then we'll zoom back out from there, all right? Looking at this here, there's a big hair. I found a big hair on my hand. Looking at this here, the 1 hour RSI. Oh no, we need other indicators too. We don't need them. I just like them. It makes me feel safe. 1 hour RSI does look bad. The stochastics also actually don't look good if we're being fair. And the MACD is also in a bearish posturing as well. So all in all, bearish. You do have bullish momentum building around, but you might have already seen that move up. It's not severe divergence, so that bullish divergence might have already played out with these minor moves to the upside here up to like 0.039. From the low of 0.038, so really nothing significant. You could move up a little bit higher. Don't get too excited if you see prices above 0.039. That doesn't mean that the low is in. In order to validate this as a low, what I'd need to see is prices above 0.047, okay, on a 4 hour or higher closing basis. We did have bullish divergence, or we still do actually have bullish divergence on the 4 hour RSI, but it's not confirmed until we get a green candle to close. So again, even here, before we move lower, we might get a little bit of a pump up to this 382. Maybe we do go to 0.0415 first, something around there. Back test prior support as resistance, prior turbulent areas as resistance, right at the 382, the Fibonacci retracement there, and then continue to move down. We do have bullish divergence on the 4 hour, right at an area to bounce. Let's see how this 4 hour closes. I wouldn't be surprised if we did, actually. Looking at the stochastics and the MACD too, I think that's a safe call to make. So yeah, we probably do move up a little bit, but I'm not expecting that it lasts, right? 0.0413 is probably where you'll find resistance, or 0.04, 0.041, something around there, and then continue to move lower. It would be very odd to stop right here in terms of your Fibonacci retracement, but just because it's odd doesn't mean it can't happen, but it would be odd. On a whole nother note, if we're taking out the fibs, we're not looking at that here. We put a horizontal line there. You are at prior support and prior resistance in this area. Prior support right there. It's a semi-significant area. It could uphold. What about this relative fib? This will really do it for me if we're at a significant area here. I'll give it the nod of approval. No, yeah, we got lower to go. We definitely got lower to go, but maybe up a little bit first to that 0.004, 0.042 area, and then lower. Yeah, then lower. Overall, all these indicators are bearish, but just momentary bullishness on them, You're kind of turning this downward trend into a sideways trend, and those sideways trends, well, they do promote some downside. Right here, you had a downtrend in your RSI, turned sideways right here, right in this area, and you kept moving down, right, at a slower pace, but still moving down. So that's what I would anticipate here. Looking at this on a daily time frame, again, it just makes sense based on the RSI that would come down. The stochastics are bearish, and the MACD, man, we had the bounce and we just gave it up. On the bright side, you do have bullish momentum or / bullish divergence building on your MACD histogram here, so that's nice to see. That'd actually be really cool. If you moved up here and then came back down and formed another drive of bullish divergence, that'd be really nice to see as well. So there are good things as well as bad things. We take in this account this idea of a 1, 2, 3 correction, okay? An ABC correction, ABC correction. That would imply that we do see 0.035. So 0.035, 0.037, 0.033, something in that area is what I would anticipate. That's where I think we're going to go ultimately. Over the coming week, probably the first week of September, we'll have resolution. and then going into the rest of September, we should be making our way up higher. Once you break above this target area of 006, that's whenever you're going to rip. That's when the pace of this, there's a fly, gotta do fly karate. That's when the pace of this move really kicks off and starts to look more like what you're accustomed to in these bullish times, and we will see new all-time highs. Absolutely. 2 cents to 3.5 cents, 4.5 cents. That's the area. I think it's actually 3 to 4.5 cents that we're looking for. My bad. 2 cents is the minimum target, high to low, but yeah, 2 cent, 1.97 to 4.5 cent. I'm thinking this area is where you ultimately stop off at with ZBCN, probably sometime in October. Okay. Hit the like button, you guys, and you're going to go a lot higher than that by the end of the year. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.